Ms. Corcoran here, and today I'm going to show you how to make a custom brush stroke in Illustrator, as well as how to do a 3D mapping of your brush stroke. So the first thing is we are going to make this guy right here. I'm going to move him out of the way. Alright, so in order to make that, all I did was I made a rounded rectangle, super easy, and I just filled it, and then I duplicated it a bunch of times, changed the color, okay, let's do one more. And in this case, I really was thinking spring, because that's the word that I'm using, so I wanted to pick colors that I associated with spring. So whatever word you choose to write with your custom brush stroke, just make sure that the colors match the idea of the word. Okay. Sorry, I'm rushing. Let's go some blues. And this last one. Okay, so this kind of reminds me of a spring palette. So then we are going to select all of them, and you're going to go to Object, Rasterize, and that creates a flat whole object out of your shapes. And then just make sure your transparent background is selected. Say OK. And now you can see that changed all of my individual rounded rectangles into one big shape. Now we are going to go to the warp tool. If you don't have this, it's probably in your 3 dots. There's your warp tool, and we are going to pull the ends out. Stretch them out on either side a little more, a little more. All right, very good. Now we are going to go and drag this into 2 different places. The first place is your brushes panel. Click and drag. We are going to go to Art Brush. Say OK. You can change these later. And we are going to go to the Symbols panel and click and drag into there as well. Graphic, static, OK. Okay. Now we are going to delete that. Go to my pen tool. I'm going to actually use the curvature tool because it's just easier. And I'm going to make an S. Now I'm going to go to my brushes, select my new brush, and there we have it. That is a custom brush stroke in Illustrator. You can then go into your anchor points and move it and finesse it any way you want to get your perfect S shape. Okay, now you'll notice the difference between this one and this one is obviously this one is 3-dimensional. So now we're going to do that one. So let's move that over here. You can see I started to make the S and the P up at the top. Remember, you need to complete your word. Okay, the next thing is we are going to do this guy right here. So in order to do that, I'm going to again use the curvature tool. Whoop. And I'm going to go to my symbols, and that is the art that we are going to use to map. But first thing is I'm going to go to Effect, 3D and Materials, 3D Classic, Extrude and Bevel. And you can see right away there is a 3-dimensional object that has been created. Now you can move this cube around as much as you want. Now I'm going to go to Map Art, and I'm going to scroll through my surface until I find the one that goes all the way across, And I believe that is the one. So I'm going to go all the way down, new symbol, and you can see it is now mapped along that three-dimensional surface. I'm going to say scale to fit, so I get my ends. Click on invisible geometry. Say okay. Okay. And that is it. From there, you guys can really just tweak it as you like. Some more things to add. You can add a drop shadow to this after you're done with all this. You can say object, let's say effect stylize drop shadow. That one is really dark. I'm just going to go to 20%. That's nice. And imagine your whole word with a nice drop shadow underneath of it. So again, that is the 3D effect out of the custom brush stroke and the regular flat custom brush stroke. And I hope you guys have fun with this. It's a fun little tool in Illustrator.